This is BaseDaKID, the hardcore casual, in association with the Undefeated podcast, proudly sponsored by Disturbing Sports London, and I am currently joined by former super welterweight unify champion Michaela Mayer as she vies for her second world title at a second weight class. Michaela, how are you?
Doing well. I've been talking a lot today, but I'm good.
I'm going to try not to have you talking too much. So with regards to this, I mean, you've been steadily making your way up the weights since leaving the super featherweight division. How has the journey and the ascension so far felt for you?
Fun. Like, that's the best way I can describe it, is that I'm having so much more fun. I've always loved boxing. Boxing's always fun to me, but, you know, training camp wasn't necessarily very fun. Like, it was really, really hard. And a lot of that, now that I see now, I didn't really know back then because I was doing it for so long. You don't know what you don't know, right? And I now see, because I feel so good and I'm having so much fun, I'm enjoying boxing so much more, how much that weight cut was affecting me. I was just grinding it out because I'm a fighter and that's what I do, but it's not normal.
Oh, I hear that. So look, with regards to this now, we're at a big press conference for you versus Tasha Jonas. You are going into the lion's den, as they say. With Tasha, I mean, what is it that you particularly have to pay attention to when you're preparing for her, and how is training camp going so far?
I think to answer your first question, what I have to prepare with someone like her is, for one, she's a southpaw, right? So we also have a very extensive amateur pedigree, both of us, so it's going to be a lot of strategy involved. She is the first southpaw that I've gone up against in my pro career. You know, obviously faced him in the amateurs, but 20 pro fights and haven't faced a southpaw. So that's where I think strategy is going to come in for both of us. Well, she's used to it, I guess. More so for me. But the size thing, I don't think makes a big difference. As you can see, I'm still towering over her. I'm still big. I feel like I'm going to hang in there just fine. But I'm working on my boxing now. I used to bang out a lot, right? I used to bang it out on the inside because that's what I like to do. That's fun for me. But I know going up into these heavier girls that I got to be a little smarter and box a little bit more. So that's what we've mostly been working on in training camp. When I get back, obviously we're now 6-7 weeks out, so it's going to get a little bit more intense. But it's all going good, and I feel great.
With regards to training camp, and obviously this fight taking place just after Christmas, has that had to alter your plans in terms of either preparation, maybe not being able to enjoy food, or is it been an issue to even get sparring partners because maybe they don't want to be training over the Christmas period? Anything going awry? No,
I heard Tasha mention that it might be difficult for her. For me, first of all, F Christmas this year. This is way more important than Christmas. I don't give a shit. But one of the reasons why I moved to Vegas. Like, Vegas is like the mecca of fighting right now. There's so many gyms, so many sparring partners. So I don't think that I'll have a hard time finding anybody. I'll figure it out.
And with regards to the pro game, so both of you very extensive amateurs, but you've actually had a lot more pro fights, well, 5 more than Tasha at the moment. Do you think that will probably hold you in some good stead, even though you haven't faced a southpaw as a pro?
Yeah, I do think I'm a very experienced professional, and I have settled into my pro style really well. I can do a lot. I face a lot of different types of opponents. So I think that's going to benefit me a lot. I also think that I'm her most competitive fight, or toughest fight at the higher weight. Since she's moved up, she really hasn't fought anyone with my pedigree. She hasn't fought anyone with my, my speed and my technique and my skill. So it's going to be the first tough fight she's had in a while.
I just have to correct myself. It's 3 fights more, not 5, but brilliant. Okay, so with regards to the division, now looking at the 147 division, do you see it as this being the platform for you to then come in and take over, or is it literally just big fight, and if that has to be without a belt or in a different weight class, you're not really bothered at this stage?
If you want the big fights, you have to have the belt. You do. I know, because this last year, it's like those fights aren't coming to you. You're high risk, low reward at this point. That's at least how I felt. I was high risk, low reward because I didn't have a belt to bring to the table. So I need this belt to have that leverage and get the big fights that I want. Yeah, and if I don't, then I don't even want to. It's not going to happen. I have an idea for how I want my career to play out. I've taken a little bit of a setback this last year, and that's not the career that I want. So I'm motivated to go in there and get myself back in position.
I hear that. Now look, even within your division, there was a unification between Sandy Ryan and Jessica McCaskill, which ended in a draw, so they both kept their belts. But should that fight obviously come into a rematch, I mean, would you sort of want to look at the winner of that, provided you obviously come through, win this one, and look to vie to be undisputed? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the big fights come with girls that have the belts. It comes with unifying. So I definitely want to unify. I have a plan set for 2024, which I can't tell you about, so it's already set, but 2025.
Okay, well, I'm going to be observing that plan. Last one from me. With regards to now the fight on the weekend, you had Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor. I guess first thing I'll ask you is sort of how did you see it? Did the right person win?
I think the right person won, yeah. Katie really made, and I think she impressed everybody that she was still able to make those type of adjustments. You know, with all the miles she has on her, I think a lot of people counted her out and said, okay, you know, she's not the Katie she used to be, but I think she proved us all wrong. When she came back, she made the proper adjustments. She didn't let herself get pushed back to the rope. She stood to her ground in the middle of the ring, even if she tied up a little too much. And she let her speed go early on with those flurries that she's so famous for doing. You know, I think she waited too long in the first fight to let those go.
And very last one from me. So with regards to that, the WBO have sent Katie a show cause letter to decide which belt she wants to carry, the 135 or the 140. Should she vacate the 140 after your fight takes place, and let's say that you do win, as that's with positive mindset, would there be any idea to possibly try and petition to fight for that vacant belt to be a free-weight world champion?
I think it would be more on her to want to come to 147 and try and be a three-weight world champion. That's a possibility on her end. If the opportunity was there for me to go down to 140 and fight her, then yeah, I would absolutely take that opportunity. I think it goes both ways, right? We would both love to do that. So again, getting the belt puts me in position for those types of negotiations.
All right, look, Michaela, thank you very much for your time. I hope I didn't talk you out too much, but look, I was going to be a big support for you, and all the best on the 20th of January.
Thank you.